Coming up, I'm going to be talking about a brand new Spider-Man Disney Plus series, plus also an update on Scarlet Witch, plus we're going to see a new Ice Age movie. All that and more coming up in today's Disney Plus news. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest. Hi, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. So let's start off with talking about Scarlet Witch. Now, back with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we pretty much saw what we thought was the death of the Scarlet Witch, when a big tower just collapsed all on around her. Now, there's a lot of people saying, oh no, she's dead. A little kind of hint maybe in the Agatha All Along trailer where we see a body with a little tag on it, or the W on it. Now that might be a red herring and might kind of set off entirely different things. So generally the idea is that, you know, she's gone, and also Elizabeth Olsen, who plays the character, has kind of been quite open about the fact that she wanted to do other things. But it's been a few years now, and apparently in a recent interview, she's confirmed she could actually come back. In a recent interview with FM 104, she says, it's a character that I love going back to when there's a way to use her well. And I think I've been really lucky that when I've started, I was used well. I think people didn't know what to do with me for a second there. If there's a good way to use her, I'll always happy to come back. Now, this is very much a case of she's maybe changed her tune now. Also, this might be due to the fact that, you know, they're kind of going up and giving her a lot more money. But also sometimes it's just having a bit of a break allows them to kind of, you know, go, actually, I wouldn't mind doing a little bit of that. Also keeps them in the public eye. Maybe it's well, it depends on other offers that have been coming through and stuff. Now, the simple truth is we never saw the body in the Doctor Strange film. So therefore, that does mean that, you know, she could come back. You've also got the use of the multiverse. They could bring her back, maybe. I don't necessarily think she's going to be in Agatha, but who knows. And they're also making the new Vision series, so that might be a good way for bringing her back. Plus also the upcoming Avengers movie. If you're going to bring her back a character, why not bring her back for some of the big ones? She might also go for a change, maybe with having her kids and stuff around, which might be kind of something that they hint at with Agatha in the Vision series. So I definitely could see her coming back. And as I said, I think by the time we see this film come out, and the other series and stuff, you know, enough time has gone by that she's been away from it for a few years, and it'll feel fresh and it'll feel a bit different, and she's been able to go off and do other different roles and stuff, which I think actors like to do. Sometimes they don't like getting, you know, bogged down and just doing the same character over and over again. But obviously, they do like the money, and I do expect, no doubt, that her wages will have gone up. She's one of the major characters and really does have a massive impact on Marvel. And as I said, we never saw the body, plus you've got the multiverse. And I don't believe she's dead for a second. But let me know what your thoughts are. Would you like to see the Scarlet Witch return? Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Shifting gears now, but keeping on the Marvel theme, let's now talk about a brand new series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So this was an animated series which was announced a few years ago. It was called Spider-Man Freshman Year. They kind of rebranded it. This brand new series is set before the events of Spider-Man Homecoming, when he's still kind of got all his just basic gear. But it is also kind of a multiverse story. It's not necessarily taking place in the same universe. It's going to have some different voice actors in there. You're going to have Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil. But it's kind of adjacent. It's not quite fully in the main MCU. Now, there's been talk, obviously, that it was going to be coming to Disney Plus this year. However, we've got a little bit of an update. So we know it's going to be coming pretty soon, because Marvel has announced that we're going to be getting a new comic book series, which is a prequel to the series. And this one is coming out in December. We've got some new artwork and stuff for this one. I think the fact that the prequel series is coming out in December, I mean, it could be one of two ways you could look at it. On one hand, it could be that the series could be coming out around that time, and therefore it will tie in with the idea that they've got this comic book coming out. Or the comic book could be coming out before it actually arrives on Disney Plus. So there are 5 episodes in this comic book series. There's only just like a limited run kind of thing. So that could indicate that it could be coming a few months later, maybe in early 2025. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. You know, they're kind of stretching everything out. To me, it feels like if there was a Spider-Man cartoon coming out, I'm ready for like November, December, we'd start seeing all the merchandise sort of starting to hit stores and stuff, because they want to be ready for the holiday season and all of that kind of side of things. You know, there's no way they're launching a new animated series without merchandise. So I do think that it might not be coming necessarily in 2024. Could be wrong, but just like my gut kind of feeling like by now, stuff should be, if it's coming out in November, we're only like 6 weeks or so away. You'd imagine some stores would start having some merch, or we'll be seeing something, but who knows? And especially like with just generic Spider-Man stuff, there's not too much of a secret. But yeah, I definitely think it's going to be coming pretty soon, but let me know. Do you think it's going to be arriving before Christmas or after? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Let's shift gears now and talk about Ice Age, because this is one of the most successful franchises for 20th Century Studios. It was originally created by Blue Sky Studios, but Disney shut down that studio. And over the years, it's been pretty successful, pulling in just about $1 billion at the box office, but more importantly, it's made about $6 billion in revenue through other methods. I would imagine a lot of that was like DVD sales and etc. So we haven't really seen too much of it for the last few years. We saw a Disney Plus original movie, The Adventures with Buck Wild, which is not great, but it was okay. We also saw the Scrap Tales shorts. And even some of the creators behind the show even put out like a little short where Scrap finally got hold of the nut and kind of brought the franchise to an end. But it looks like it might not necessarily be over. During a recent appearance on the NPR Wait, Don't Tell Me podcast, John Leguizamo, who plays Sid the Sloth in the movies, revealed that they're about to make it an Ice Age 6. He says, "I'm so happy to hear that. We're about to do Ice Age 6. Now, we didn't go into too much more details. This is kind of like the first we've heard about it. But when you're one of the major stars saying that they are making an Ice Age 6, now remember, the Buck Wild film was kind of like a spin-off. It's not necessarily the 6th film, even though it is, but it isn't. But yeah, how far along this is in development, how long it might be arriving, whether it'll be going to cinemas, whether it'll be going to Disney Plus. I imagine if they're bringing back the voice talent, this one's going to be going to cinemas, because the last one didn't really have anyone but Simon Pegg returning as Buck Wild. Everybody else wasn't. I think this is great. I think Ice Age is kind of one of those franchises that can definitely be, like, not necessarily rebooted, but something that they can just continue to go back to, and just letting Disney do something a little bit different with these characters. I think they're a great addition, bring them into the theme parks. I know they've been adding them into like video games like Disney Magic Kingdoms. So yeah, I think having more Ice Age would be great, but what do you think? Do you like to see more Ice Age movies? Would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. And our question of the day, which comes from Jonathan and Jasmine, who says, what are your thoughts on the new Phantom of the Opera film from Disney? So this was revealed over the weekend. It's going to be created by Kenny Ortega, who was behind like The Descendants and also High School Musical. So it's important to note that Phantom of the Opera is actually a public domain book, so therefore any different company can do anything with it. So it's not necessarily like a remake or a new version of the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. This one can be completely different, just based on that story. They'll probably have modern music in there for modern tastes. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought it up to date to modern times as well. Could be a lot of fun. I mean, I've liked Andrew Lloyd Webber version. I've seen it on the theatre. I think it could be interesting. And again, it's not a remake or a different version of Andrew Lloyd Webber's one. It will be completely new music, new everything. It's just a kind of a similar story. I think this sounds like it's a good idea coming, but again, why not go and do something a little bit like this, especially for Disney, and just kind of, and the fact that Kenny Ortega is coming back, I think is great. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good idea or not? Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Remember to go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Later.